Welcome to Admin Setup for Event Status. Since this is such a large section, this video is just going to focus on the second half of the columns. So these columns are going to be from highlight over to copy. If you're looking for information on the first half of these columns, please refer to the previous video. There are also going to be separate videos for these columns over here for checklists, predefined notes, and client notifications. I'll start with the highlight column. What this column is for is this is going to highlight in red on the home screen certain events that you want to stand out. So things that you want to make sure that you're keeping an eye on, making sure they are completed on a timely manner. So you can see we have some of these first three for pending and drop-offs. We have those ones highlighted, and how they appear on your home screen is they will be in red. We have rejects, other pendings. So these are the things that we have decided are important in our office, and we want to make sure that we're keeping track of, keeping an eye on them. So we've selected that box. The next column is note required. This event status is used when you are requiring your staff or your employees to enter a note when the client gets moved into that event status. We have note required on pending, drop-off, reviewer questions. Those are some of the ones that we have, and I'll show you how that appears in a client's file. So let's grab a client. We're going to move this client into pending and save it. And then what it does is a red flag appears just saying please enter a note explaining why you changed the status to pending. And then the client, excuse me, on the account event section, click here to go to that section. So here it takes you right where you need to go to put the note. So it's just a reminder to make sure your clients are putting those notes in there and making all the proper documentation into the client's file. The next column is the billing rate. This probably isn't used too often, but if you would like to track the time that a client is in a particular status and link a dollar amount to it, you can. So if you're tracking the amount of time and you want to bill based on that time, you can do that. So we have an example set up under tax prep. We have a billing rate of $150, and I'll show you how this appears in a client's file. I'll search for a client. Okay, so this client is currently in tax preparation. You can see over here it's billable because we do have that billing rate of $150, and based on the amount of time it's been in this status, it gives us the billable amount right here. Then if you like, you can take that amount and you can put it down in the transaction section and charge based on that if you would like. So if you're using this for billing and want to charge your clients based on how much time it's in each of these events, there's also a report called Management Client Hourly Billing Events, which will give you all the information that you need. The next column here is Disable Account Field Requirement Error Check. And this was probably going to be a little bit easier to show you too, but basically is how Adam is set up is there are certain fields that are required to be filled out before you can change the status of a client's file. So we'll go back to our client's file. So the 4 required fields are difficulty, referral, the user, and budgeted time. So you know, if you're really using Adam and trying to track everything, referrals and such, you're probably going to want those fields required. But if there's certain business types or certain activities that you're doing that you're really not that interested in that, you can disregard that. So then clients could be moved into those statuses without. So for example, we have it set up if a client is moved into pending, they have to have those fields filled out. So you can see we've got the red message saying you need to fill out prepare a referral type, preparation difficulty. So we didn't have the referral type in here. Once we put the referral type in here, then it's going to allow us to move it to the next status. But again, if you wanted to override that and not make those required fields, you could check that box on the admin screen. The next column is add on creation of account. You can create certain event statuses that will automatically open upon creating a new account or a new client or new year. So if I wanted drop-offs to create along with lobby every time somebody walked in the door, I could do that. So if we go ahead and we edit this, add on creation of account, and save it. So every time a new client walks in the door, it's automatically going to put them in the lobby, and it's automatically going to put them in drop-offs. You may not use this too much for tax preparation, but for bookkeeping, it would probably be pretty useful because there probably are certain things that you're doing for each one of your bookkeeping clients, and then you can have it set up so it will automatically open up each one of those events, and you don't have to do it individually for each client. This next column here is for recurring notes. This is tied to the events here that have recurrence days. So if you have events that are recurring, you can also have a recurring note that will appear each time the event opens. So you can see here for weekly payroll, which recurs every 7 days, we have a note here that we need to get payroll hours. So how this appears in a client's file. So we'll go to her bookkeeping file here. Let's say we completed payroll for this week, so we're going to go ahead and close that status, mark it as done. And then the next one is automatically going to open up, and it's going to be due in 7 more days, and the note appeared again, so need payroll hours. So you can see that it's open, and it's got that note in there, it's got that reminder, so you don't have to continually make those same notes. This last column here is the copy feature. Now this is tied to when you are adding a new year for a client. So you actually have the option for each individual event if you would like them to copy over when you add a new year or not. So this is again probably going to be especially helpful and useful for tracking your bookkeeping and payroll clients that are you continually doing the same things, year after year. So you have 3 different options here. The first one is don't copy, and this is the default. So if you don't pick anything, it automatically just won't copy. So when you add a new year for a client, none of the previous events from the previous year will copy over, okay, unless you have actually added it upon the creation of account. The second option here is going to be copy. This copy event is what we'll do when you add a new year for a client. It will copy any of the current events that are open, but it will not close the old ones. It'll leave the events open in the previous year. So you'll have your new events open in the new year. You'll also have them open in the previous year. The third option is copy and close. This feature will copy over all of your events that you've selected this for when you're adding a new year, and then it will also close them out in the previous year. I know this probably sounds like it can be a little bit confusing. I didn't really want to go into a lot of detail because there's a few different scenarios and how it can work. So what I would recommend is I just wanted you to be aware that we do have these features. So if you're wanting additional help on how to set them up, just give our office a call and we can help you walk through them, so then we can help you avoid having any mistakes when you're doing that. So that is all I have for the second half of the Office Events screen under Admin Setup.